Welcome to one of our golden nuggets of LANDWorksCAD. Now in this video, we're going to show just how easy it is to insert your desired proposed plants into your plans. Now as you might expect in this software, the Insert Proposed Plant icon is where you would go to insert proposed plants. So select that icon and you'll be presented with a dialog box. Now the first time you select this dialog box, you'll find that it takes just a little bit longer to appear as the 2,000 plants that are in the system load into your computer. Now, initially you are presented with every single one of those plants, and there are many to choose from. And each of them, if I use the down arrow on my keyboard, you'll see give you a range of different display options. With all of them, there is an opportunity to either choose a basic looking figure, a more detailed appearance, or an image file. Now an image file would typically be either a scanned image or a photograph or something that you've produced in something like Photoshop or some other photo rendering program. So by choosing which option the little dot is in, that will determine which one of these is actually inserted into your drawing. By choosing the particular drawing, let's just find one that I like the appearance of rather than actually want to place within the drawing specifically. So I'll choose this one here. So we've got an acacia, and I'm going to insert it as a detailed figure. We can always change it later. Now there are a variety of methods that I can choose to place this figure or this tree symbol. One of them is by a single point. Now, if I leave it as the default and choose single point, then the size of this object is going to be approximately 1 meter across, so about a yard. And if I choose 2 points, it stays the same size, but it gives me the opportunity, if I zoom in on it, to actually rotate it around. So the second point is just a rotation point. If I choose, and we'll just repeat the command, it remembers the last tree that you'd selected or plant that you selected. I can actually specify an actual size by either selecting common sizes or just type in a value here. So if I say that the diameter is 350 and I choose 2 points, then I now have a tree that I know has that correct diameter applied to it. I'm going to right click out of that, finish it, and pick the command yet again. And this time I'll use the scale by 2 points option, which gives me the opportunity to, and I'll just actually make this a little bit bigger, gives me the opportunity to place the central point and then following the instructions as I always should do, just size it visually. So that's my size there, and I'll click to finish that off. Right click to completely end this task. Once I have my plants in position, I can select them by their edge, and you'll notice my cursor changes to a little diamond. Grab hold of that plant and relocate it to a new position. Now the pixels haven't actually disappeared here. If I refresh the screen, they reappear. It's just that that is where this object was, and so they get kind of rubbed out for a brief moment. You can also refresh the screen by scrolling in and out. We'll look at that in just a second. By selecting a plant, you can also grab, and you'll see its little handles here, you can grab its little handles and just drag it out. So you don't have to make the tree the right size at the time you insert it. You can change it later. If I pick the central point, then I'm actually pivoting the tree around the secondary point. So I'm just going to place this one here. So we now have a small cluster of plants, and again if I refresh the screen, you'll see all of those plants are sitting on top of each other. Zoom out a little bit. So I'll just push those away, give you a slightly cleaner appearance to the drawing. I'm using the top button of my mouse, the rolly wheel, to zoom out and to zoom in. Wherever I place my cursor is the zoom focus. So if I was to focus on the center of this tree and roll in, then I'm literally focusing in on the center of this particular tree. If I roll back out again, it still knows that that's my focus. So I could roll here and this would bring this tree's center to the focus. Also, by pressing down on my mouse wheel, I can actually move the entire object around. So whilst holding down on the wheel and moving my mouse, I'm able to move my entire drawing, or in fact, I'm actually moving me around over the top of the drawing. So a very simple thing to do. Something else you might like to do is remove the work plane from view. By double clicking on the work plane and ticking this option, it will switch it off. And a lot of people find that that work plane can be a little annoying, especially when they first start using the program. So that is how you would actually select a plant from the database, okay, and how you would then place it in your drawing. If, for instance, at some point in the future, you wish to make it look more basic, you can certainly do that. And you do that through this tool here, the plant display switching. And I would say, I wish to only see a basic figure, and I select OK. And because I haven't pre-selected any of these plants, it says, shall I modify all of them? And I'll go yes. And so now it's refreshed the screen and replaced those other items with these very simplistic appearance trees. If I repeat the command, and by the way, you don't have to actually move your mouse over a command to re-pick it. You can just press the Enter key and it will always repeat the last used command. So this time I'm going to use a bitmap image. So we've already shown the detail figure when we inserted it. We switched it to the basic figure, and now we're also going to see it as a bitmap. Select OK. Do I wish to modify them all? Yes, I do. And now we're seeing the same plant illustrated as a bitmap. With all of these plant options, and I'll repeat the command again, we have the opportunity to switch on shadows. Now, shadows can be made up of different types of shadow appearance. So in this case, we're just looking for a grey fill, but we do have the ability to look at grey hatching. This would be just a hatch. And we also have custom pattern, so we could use various hatch patterns to represent our hatching as well. So let's just go back to the grey fill, which is the one I tend to use mostly, and select the angle that I wish my shadow to appear at, and then select OK. Do I wish to modify all plants? Yes, I do. And the shadow is then placed directly on that plant.